Today, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful stories of leadership failure you'll ever find. It comes from the ancient book of Numbers, and it's all about pressure, frustration, and one single mistake that literally changed the destiny of an entire generation. I mean, think about that. What really happens when a truly great leader finally reaches their breaking point? We're about to see how it all unfolds, not just for the leader, but for every single person who was counting on them. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a place of just immense hardship. The entire Israelite community is in the desert of Zin, and they're teetering right on the edge of a total crisis. And let's be really clear about how bad things are. I mean, they're stranded in this desolate, empty desert. They're grieving the loss of Miriam, who wasn't just any leader, she was Moses' sister. And to top it all off, they have run completely out of water. The pressure on Moses and his brother Aaron is just off the charts, and the people, well, they are ready to revolt. Wow, you can just feel the sheer desperation and anger in those words, can't you? This isn't just a simple complaint. No, this is a full-blown accusation. They're getting in Moses' face, questioning his entire life's mission. The situation is about to boil over. And this is the critical turning point. This is the moment where everything goes wrong. In a moment of divine intervention, Moses gets a very clear instruction. But what happens next is just a classic case of human frustration completely derailing the plan. The command from God is incredibly simple, and this is important. It's a test of faith, not a test of force. Take the staff, get everyone together, and simply speak to the rock. The miracle was supposed to come from calm obedience, not some big show of power. But just listen to what Moses says. His anger, his exhaustion, it's just boiling over. He doesn't reassure them, he lashes out, calling them rebels. And notice how he makes it about himself and Aaron. Must we bring you water? He's totally sidelining the divine power he's supposed to be representing. And this is where it all comes to a head. The contrast here is just so stark. The command was to speak. It was an act of faith. But instead, Moses, in this fit of anger, raises his staff and strikes the rock. And not just once, he hits it twice. It's this public act of pure frustration and disobedience. So the water does gush from the rock, the people get their drink, but the damage is done. The judgment is immediate and it is severe. Because they failed to trust and honor God in that one public moment, both Moses and Aaron lose the ultimate prize. They will not be the ones to lead their people into the promised land. And to make sure this failure is never, ever forgotten, the place gets a name, Meribah, which literally means quarreling. It becomes this permanent scar, a reminder of the conflict, not just the people's quarreling, but the moment their leaders quarreled with the very source of their authority. So you think the worst is over? Not even close. The fallout from that mistake at Meribah starts immediately. As the Israelites try to move on, they smack right into their next obstacle, and we see the consequences of that leadership failure start to play out in real time. The first consequence comes fast. Moses tries diplomacy. He sends a perfectly reasonable request to the neighboring kingdom of Edom, just asking for safe passage. Edom says no. So Moses pleads again. He promises they'll pay for any water or any resources they use. But Edom's final answer isn't a no. It's an army marching out to meet them. And the result? Another major setback. Denied passage, the Israelites have no choice but to take a long, brutal detour. It really makes you wonder, if their leadership hadn't just faltered so publicly, would this confrontation have gone differently? Their journey, which was already hard, just got a whole lot harder. And now the story shifts. It gets really personal. The cost of that failure at Meribah comes into sharp focus. That divine judgment starts to be carried out, and it begins with Aaron. The community arrives at the foot of Mount Hor. It's this stark, imposing place, and it's right here on this mountain that the prophecy against the leadership is about to be fulfilled. And there it is, spelled out crystal clear. God tells Moses that Aaron's journey is over. He will die here just short of the promised land. And the reason is stated explicitly, their rebellion at the waters of Meribah. That one moment of anger has now sealed his fate. What happens next is this incredibly solemn, really poignant ceremony. It's the transfer of a sacred duty, and it's happening at the very moment one leader is about to pay the ultimate price for his failure. So, in full view of everyone waiting below, Moses leads his brother Aaron and his nephew Eleazar up the mountain. And in this formal ceremony, he takes the high priestly garments off his brother and puts them on his son. The mantle of leadership is passed from father to son. And then, just as prophesied, Aaron dies. When the community realizes Aaron is gone, the entire nation mourns for 30 days. And that number, 30 days, signifies a period of deep, profound communal loss. It just underscores how important this leader was, a leader they just lost as a direct result of that one fateful day at the rock. And that brings us right back to our big question. This ancient story seems to suggest the price isn't just paid by the leader, it's paid by their family, it's paid by their legacy, and it's paid by the entire community that depended on them. It's a timeless and frankly a very sobering lesson on the true weight of leadership.